Hi guys, as you see, today we are in our Flappy Bird tutorial. But this tutorial is not about Flappy Bird. We're going to be adding a high score system. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, let's get started. Before we can make a high score system, we need to make a type of scoring system. So let's do that. Make a new variable called score. And then in the beginning, I'm going to set score 0. In the pipe sprite, I'm going to make a new variable called passed with a question mark. And it's going to be for the sprite only. During the beginning, I'm going to set passed to false. And passed is going to be a boolean value. So, what we're going to do is if x position is less than the x position of Flappy Bird, then I'm going to set passed to true, change score by 1. And then, with an extension called and, passed is equal to false. So let's just test this out. And then you pass, and then the score increases by 1. Perfect. Now let's make a high score system. What we're going to do is make a new sprite. I'm going to call it high score system. And then I'm going to make a new list called high scores. Along with that, I'm going to make a variable called I for the sprite only, and that's going to stand for index. Okay. What I'm going to do is, when I receive a new broadcast called update high scores, and I'm going to broadcast that right after I broadcast game over. So yeah. Okay. So now let's get started with some code. I'm going to add scores to high scores, and then I'm going to set I to the length of high scores. So that I will be the index of score. Okay. So if I just do that, then you see that I is equal to 1. And score is in 1. Okay. Now we're going to use an if statement. A repeat until. If statement. An if statement. And what I'm going to do is if score is greater than item I minus 1 of scores. So that's going to be blank right now. So this is going to be true. Then I'm going to make a new variable called temp for a temporary variable. and then I'm going to set temp to that value. And then what I'm going to do is insert temp at I of scores, and I'm going to change I by -1. So if I just test this out, I'm going to delete all. First of all, I'm just going to add a few random numbers in numerical order, and I'm just going to set score to about, let's say, 5. Okay. So I add score to high scores, and then this will be true. So if I do this, it doesn't work. And this is because I did not delete I -1 of high scores. So if we now test this out, let me just delete all. Okay, just for testing purposes, I'm just gonna make a new block called A for add. And then I'm just gonna add random values. So 6, 4, and 2. Okay. There you go. Just for testing purposes. Okay. Now I add 5. And then if I do this once, 5 moves up. If I do it twice, 5 also moves up. If I do it one more time, 5 will not move up. And because 6 is greater than 5. But how do we do this automatically? Well, we can add a repeat until not that. So if I just test this out, then 5 automatically moves up to its according position. Okay? But what happens if everything is empty? Well, this repeat loop does not stop, and we have a null value in the first index. Okay? What we can do to fix this problem is have an if statement around the repeat until loop. And the if statement is going to be if length of high scores is greater than 1. So if it's 2 or more. That's only when you do the repeat until loop. Let me just delete all of high scores. And it works now. Okay? And it still works if we do this. Okay, now let's hide all the variables. And I'm going to drag this high score system over there. I'm going to delete the A block. Now let's run the project. But there's a major flaw in this. And that flaw is that whenever we run the project, we do not delete all of high scores. So now let's do it. Now and then I get 0 because I don't have any score points. If I do get some points, like that, and then I get 2. But we still have a issue in this, and that issue is the repeat loop does not stop. And what we can do to fix this problem is have an OR. So I'm just going to pause it right now. And what I'm going to do is OR item I minus 1 of high scores is equal to blank. Okay. Let's test this out now. So I'm just going to die once, and then I'm going to get a score of 2 so that we can have the exact same numbers. And it works. Let's do it again. But this time with 3. Yeah. And it works again. If I get 1, and then it numerically sorts out the high scores. And to make this way simpler, I'm going to make a new custom block called update high score. I'm going to have it run without screen refresh. Okay. I'm going to die once, and then let me just gather some points. And then I'm going to die again. Okay, it works. Let me gather 1 point. There you go, it works again. So, this is all for this video. And I know this is a pretty confusing topic, especially with the repeat until loop and all the I-1 stuff. But I hope I was able to explain everything well. So I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.